Hi, Kim. Is this on? Jeannie, baby, you look awesome. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you've been part of this congregation less than 2 years, raise your hand. I'm Chuck. Don?
Marshbanks.
Nice to meet you. No, I'm not going to come around and get everybody. We'll be here all day. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Roger? Good. Tom? Good? Okay. What I want to do for class is to give you an update. We've been up in northern Michigan for, well, since 2019, and we're missionaries. We support any congregation who wants us to help them in evangelism. We do the training, we do the teaching, we do a lot of different things. As I said earlier, I preach maybe 10 times a year, and I'm always doing it reluctantly. Not really. It's just not what I do. I've been asked from a few different congregations, would you be our preacher? And it's no. I just don't think that's where my gift is. I love sitting across the table with people and studying, whether it's a brand new brother or sister, and leading them towards a higher walk, a better understanding, or if it's going into a senior center and just doing a public timeline 2 hours a night for 5 days. I love doing that. I love the challenge of questions. And through the years of us doing that, this doesn't sound like it's on. You good? All right. Through all the years of doing that, we have concluded when you study with a lost soul, there's usually the same 30 or 40 questions that you get. We get surprised every once in a while with a question. But by now, we've looked up a lot of materials to answer. Jeremy, sit down, man. It's not a rally. It's the first time I've seen him since today. So I love that guy. And so that's what we're doing up north. We're helping to strengthen the congregation. Yes, we do the Bring, Teach, Keep. We teach people about bringing. We just spent 6 months on Wednesday night in Rogers City going through the Brothers Keeper class. And that's always a huge eye-opener. So that's pretty much the recentness of what we've been doing. And it's easy for you to go down the hallway and read a report that I send out. But it's better face-to-face. And so I want to open up the floor to anybody who has any questions about the mission, about the work, what I do, what Michelle does, and Michelle sends her love. When I agreed with Tad to come and speak today, Michelle had already made plans. So I was happy to, hey, I'm going to Waterford, going to speak. We'll go down. She goes, Chuck, I can't. So you're not preaching anyway, so she stayed up in Hillman, Michigan. So I'm going to open the floor to any questions that you may have about the work, about the mission. In class, I will answer as honestly as I can, but I don't like to give names because this is being recorded. And by the time class is over, people in Pakistan can, all over the world can watch it, hear it, see it. And I just want to make sure that I keep some people's confidentiality confidential. So, were you scratching or do you have a question?
What's the status about opening the new church around Harrisville?
Any other questions? No, that's an excellent question. We, being Jim Myers, who preaches in Alpena, Dale DeVerney, who preaches in Rogers City, and I have discussed this for a while about planting a church. Now, if you're looking at the map, You've got Rogers City at the top, then you've got Alpena, then down 23, you got Lake Huron to the right, and then down in the southern part, we have Oscoda. Now, it's about an hour, a little more than an hour from Alpena to Oscoda. So right in the center somewhere is where we're looking. We're looking Harrisville or inland to Lincoln. And one of the reasons inland is better, because if you draw a circle of the population, if we're in Harrisville, this is 23, and that's Lake Huron, you only have this. But if we go into Lincoln, that area, now you've got a full circle. So we're looking at population. We've already had meetings where we talk about not necessarily the spot, but the process or the things we're going to do when we decide on a spot. There will be house to house, heart to heart sent out. There will be publicizing for a public timeline. Love to do them. And we want to get the feelers out there. And so Dale and Jim, they're just outstanding to work with. You know, it's like being with Tad. Well, no, being with Tad's like being alone. No, I love that guy. I tell you, I don't talk to him daily or weekly, but when I do, it's upbeat and it's encouraging. And so I have tremendous respect for Tad. So we're looking maybe 26. We're looking for about this time next year to get our ducks in a row. You'll know because we will probably send out a request, pass the hat. No, and I'm serious, because if you're going to start a congregation, there's so much involved. No, we're not going to go buy a building or build one or anything like that. We'll find a place to rent for a little bit. And one of the problems is, no, we can't hire a preacher right away, but we've got that covered. Our thought is, let's have a 3 o'clock in the afternoon service. So all of those who go to their church in the morning, they can still come. And also, between Jim and Dale, Scott Busich, who preaches in Oscoda, Jerry Robertson in Atlanta, Mike James up in Sheboygan, and myself, I think I covered everybody. We got plenty of guys that can do the preaching. I just need to drag a song leader with me. Hey, you laugh. I led singing 3 times up north. Didn't have... Michelle picked out the songs that were most popular, that everybody would know, and she said, just get it started, and we'll be there for you. I actually said, just get it started and be quiet. No, she didn't say that. Thank you, Joe. Now, 2026, it's a year away, so there's a lot of meetings and planning that we're doing. And I'm excited about it. I had talked to a couple different guys about being the preacher there. And most likely, and Dave Park said this a long time ago to me, he said, you know, if we're going to plant a congregation, don't try to raise all the support for the preacher. Do what you can, take care of him, but let him get a job in the community also. He's going to be exposed to people, he'll have conversations with people, and he can set up studies that I would love to take. And so that, you know, there's a lot of things in the mix, but the elders, 2 thumbs up, and it's our plan to go. It's dark down there. Between Alpena and Oscoda, there's no light, there's no church.
I know this is a really long question, but can you just kind of give a
Long question,
a
gang.
long answer?
Oh.
Can you just give us I mean, we all have friends and family that we want to start that conversation with. And what are some things you found that are good ways to start?
For $8, I'll sell you a Being a Bringer book. But it is a valid question. It's about reaching out to people. Ron, lost his last name, used to preach in West Branch. He started something called Walk and Talk. So you know what we do? We walk around town. We walk around. Somebody would want, man, I want to learn how to reach out. I would take you. You know, we just walk around town, Roger City, Alpena, wherever, and we start conversations with people about anything. Oh, I like that outfit you have on. That's really nice. Now, I got to be careful when I do that, because if I don't have Michelle or someone else with me, especially a female, then I like that outfit you're wearing. It's a little unusual. But, you know, be Arlene. Just be yourself. So there's no phoniness. That's not part of our abiding in Jesus. Be yourself. I'll tell you, someone else talked to, Jerry Laffner. We wrote the Being a Bringer book, and it's about her. Because when she returned to the Lord, she brought 103 people either to worship or that we studied with in 3 years. 103. I stopped counting. I had a little chart going down and said, I can't keep up. So I did. I stopped counting. So she's another one to ask about it. You know what? People want realism. That agape love is not available in the world. You got to leave the world and follow Jesus to even get the concept of it. Be nice and look out for the best interests of someone who's been treating me rotten. Oh, absolutely. It will, I was going to say it'll blow your mind, but apparently Suck It Up Buttercup didn't go over that well this morning, so it will amaze you, the growth that you will receive by exercising yourself. People want to talk. They do. They will, and not everybody. We understand human nature. But folks want to have conversations. They want to be important. Is there something that the rest of us need to be involved in? Nah, that's my girl, Chelsea. Yes?
No, Terry and I, since we got older, if you don't have new beginnings as you get older, you get old or well deep. So we decided to go into the community of Waterford Township. And what I realized is that not a lot of people sitting here today are Waterford Township residents, okay? I was totally amazed, even though we knew a lot of people here because we've been here 100 years together. But the thing of it is, I didn't realize how good God is to people that are in the world. I think we sent the message was years ago, not to be in the world. You could be in the world. I don't think Jesus stayed in the walls of the temple. He didn't stay there all day long. He went into the world, didn't he, Chuck? And he was with people.
But he was not of the world. In fact, when he said, I send you like sheep among wolves, he said, be what? Wise as serpents. And some versions say gentle as a dove. Others say, yeah. The Greek word literally means unmixed. Be careful.
Oh, absolutely. But I have faith because I can do anything through courage and have faith in Jesus Christ. It depends on your faith. You don't get that from young age. You get it from older. And as you learn, you go through life. Don't you, Chuck? I mean, aren't we learning here today even?
Well, no, we've had some pretty outstanding young people who very gifted that we've met. And if you work with them, they explode, if you will, in spirituality because they want it. And you have to understand where they're at and this gently take them to another step and level. Let me tell you this. The more you do it, the more you go, there was nothing to that. That was easier than I thought. Most of the time, we get in our own way. Well, I don't know enough Scripture. I don't have answers to their questions. I don't have memory. You know what that's doing? It's all about I. If you're a bringer, you don't need to know all that because you want to take them to a teacher. He or she is responsible for that. So that's why the bring, teach, keep is so important because it came out of the mouth of Jesus. Matthew 28, 18 to 20. Go into all the world. Bring people in contact with me. Make disciples. Teach them what they need to do to be right with God. And then teach them to observe all I've commanded you. Keep them. Keep them safe. And we all work in at least one of those areas. Maybe two, maybe all three. I'm the world's worst bringer. I talk to people all the time. But I love teaching. I love across from the table. That to me is, it's exciting. I've said I'd rather walk into a room like a senior center with 25 people there that I've never met than to preach to our own brethren. And it's got anything to do with the brethren. Nothing. It's just not my hot button. It's not my passion. You know? But boy, let's sit down and have a Bible study. Oh, I love it. We baptized, November of 23, a 75-year-old Jewish woman. Her name is Janet. And she is very unhealthy, and she struggled a lot. But, buddy, we still go there, and we'll study with her as she can. And that's exciting. I think it's the first Jewish person I ever baptized. What's your name, sir? And what are you doing here? I went up to Bart this morning, and I'm looking at him, I go, I know you. And I said, who are you? He said, I'm Bart Roll. I helped you move. Thank you, Bart.
I just want to know how the growth of the congregations is.
I've got to move closer to you. Say what? Well, it's really interesting that the growth of the congregations. We work primarily with Rogers City and Alpena. Those are the two main. Now, I've preached in Atlanta and Grayling, but Grayling's got their own preacher now, and they're going. There are some congregations up there, brethren, that are struggling, really struggling. I appreciate Steve Hill and y'all for helping out West Branch. They need it. They're good. Man, we enjoy them. But that evangelism, it's just not there. Alpena and Rogers City are both 30 and above, depending on the day, which Sunday. When we went up, many years ago, I think it was 12, 13, 14, something like that, Dale DeVerney from Rogers City called me and said, can y'all help Alpena? They're down to 5 people, and their worship is a TV on the stage, and Dale records Sunday worship, and that's their worship next week. Now, that's discouraging. At least like right now, you have someone who's teaching and preaching, and you can talk to. It's not a television. So they went, Tommy, Stephen Yetta, Andrew, Michelle, and I. I told Dale, hey, we'll give it a shot. So we went up there, and it broke your heart, and yet at the same time we go, man, these people want to work. Let's do it. And so when we went up there, they received us. Linda Hilla, if you go to Alpena, you'll know exactly who Linda Hilla is. She's precious. And that group, Curtis, went up with them often. 5 people. They push 40. but they're like 30 consistently. So you go from that, and they've got Jim Myers, who, you know, he and his wife Kelly, well, he was here last time with me. He's just outstanding. November 2 years ago, I think it was, Rogers City was 6 people. And they're doing the same. Mid-30s. Dale has baptized a few people recently. He works in the jail also as an officer. He works on the water and the snowmobile trails. He meets a ton of people. He's like the mayor of Rogers City. He'll send me a picture in uniform. I call him Barney Fife. You know, he's got his uniform on. And I just think it's funny. The young people go, who? Overall, I would say Alpena and Rogers City are solid. And my understanding, I haven't been down the coast, that Oscoda likewise. So it's important because you got Rogers City, Alpena, and then Oscoda. And if we're going to plant a church somewhere here, we don't want to suck them dry. You know, I'm sure 1 or 2 might if they live in that city, and that's fine. They understand that. And we communicate with them to let them know we plan to start a congregation here. And so I'd say good. Gaylord is struggling mightily. Their attendance is down. They're still allowing anybody to use their building for events and such. They have the preacher's luncheon. I think it's the 3rd Tuesday of every month. And, you know, that's good stuff. And Jim and Dale are taking younger men to it, younger men in the faith. They're old-ish, but young in the faith. Does that answer your question, Bart? How's the couch working out? I gave you a couch, man.
Have an expiration date.
Hey, that's not funny. I think it was about expired when you got it, to be honest with you. Anybody else? You can ask personal stuff. I may not answer, but that's okay. Jenny.
How did the ice storm affect you?
How did the ice storm affect us? Well, we lost power for 6 days. And the hardest part, we had a small generator, but the hardest part was hauling water, you know, swapping what you plug in, and you can't run them 24/7. So you get up in the morning, it's like 44 degrees in the house. That's cold. It's okay, we had the hot pockets, and you stuff your pockets full of those hot pockets, you know. But we were fine, because I'd plugged the refrigerator in for a while. The freezer, you don't have to, man, that's going to stay like a rock for a week. So we did a couple of times, plugged TV in. I thought that would get a reaction, but we did well. 6 days, then the power came back on. In Rogers City, there's an older gentleman. His name is Franklin. He's a treat. He's 82. Dale called and said, hey, Franklin needs a place to stay. His power went out. Can he stay with you? We said, yes. And Michelle said yes. She knew I was going to say yes. So he drives over, and he's with us for 6 days until his power came back on. He has a biological clock that goes off at this in the morning. So we get up and come out, and there he's just sitting in the chair like eating it. The man loves bananas. He ate us out of house and banana, you know, and that's great. We loved it. He was great to have, and he got used to my humor after a while. And I had to be careful because I didn't want him to, he's in my home, and man, the guy's ripping me. But he's like Bob Dunn, not that smart, you know? So read his name tag and you'll know why I said that. make them a cup of coffee, feed them. He'd just hang around. Excuse me. The day came, Dale called me and said, hey, Franklin's power is back on. I said, all right. So I walked in the living room, and Michelle and Franklin were sitting there, and I said, Franklin, your power's on. Get out. He was out of there in like 20 minutes. He couldn't wait to get back home. Not because I said that. He goes, he understood. And it's funny. He'd be sitting at the table eating something, and he'd go, and we just enjoyed that. You know, he's by himself. So whatever, he thinks he's pretty funny, I guess. But he was a delight. I hated to see him go. But we were blessed to be able to do that because we were winners. Yes, sir.
What would, unusual question, what would a financial input do to the congregations up there? In what way?
I have no idea what your question means.
If the congregations that you worked with had an influx of some money, what would that do?
I'm going to tell you, Alpena and Rogers City are so responsible. What would any money do if it was sent to them? I'm going to tell you right now, Alpena and Rogers City, send it and don't look back. They're financial stewards of it. There are other congregations that you can give $100,000 to. In a year from now, their site would be beautiful, but it'd be the same depth or lack of growth inside. You know, Bob Dunn, when he was a deacon over, we talked a lot about that. Yes, this, yes, that. Be careful. I'd hold those back. You know, if you want to earmark it and put it in the budget, but don't send it yet, wait until we communicate. It's life. They're human beings, you know, so they're no different. You're just on a higher level of accountability here. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah,
No, what?
I was interrupting.
I can't hear you.
I was interrupting you rudely by.
Oh, go ahead. No, it's fine.
Shut them down. Let the Bible speak, okay? All the churches up in northern Michigan, past the Straits, they're up north. They're all struggling as well. I mean, they are. But do you ever communicate with Alex, Meredith? I'm going to tell you one thing, that let the Bible speak, and I know this personally, that is reaching out to a lot of people in the EP. Now, do you have a radio station up by you? I mean, a local radio station?
True North Radio, yeah.
Is it expensive, Chuck, to be on that radio?
I don't know.
Yeah, that radio, that let the Bible speak, I can't believe the way it reaches people.
Well, I'll tell you this about the radio. Part of our planning is Jim Myers has hooked up a few times from Alpena with radio stations. Dave Parks and I went up and did a, live on the air conversation, talk about what we're doing up there for a Bible Timeline. The ads aren't cheap, but you can direct them to specific areas, which is outstanding. Alpena put their name as a warming center when the power outage was. And we went over there and just sat there, drank the coffee, ate the cookies, because nobody showed up. But the benefit of it was Alpena's now on the list of a warming center. So if there's another one of these happens, boom, they automatically pop up. The yard giveaway is going to be, I think, first week of July. And that's always huge, always. It's a yard sale, but we don't take any money. People come, I need to put it in your car and go. Now, a lot of them will contribute and, no, I can't just take this and put it in. But that's the source of a couple of baptisms in Alpena. And they've been doing, I think this is the 4th year. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
The church in Atlanta, is it active yet? It's the only one that Joe and I ever got to visit.
Is the church in Atlanta? I haven't been to Georgia. Oh, Michigan. Yeah, so we live about 12 minutes from there. Yes. Jerry Robertson is still the preacher there. And when he was out for a week, I filled in for him. And it was, I'm going to say, it's probably 3,000 people that lined up when it was, no, to leave the state. They were leaving Atlanta. No, they had, I think, 35 maybe, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what their congregation is. There was just one Sunday that we were there to visit. It was, you know, it was a great group of people, very friendly, and just hopped on, of course, you know.
Atlanta's doing well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Anybody else? Don?
The question was asked in the back, if one of these congregations had an influence of cash, would that help? How about if there was an influx of cash to the Let the Bible Speak program, which covers that whole general area? Obviously, I would think that would be certainly.
I can't even answer that because I'm not familiar with Let the Bible Speak. We have, there's so many programs and whatnot. We've had home missions up there helping. We've had folks go through the Fishers of Men classes. And right now, and I think it's outstanding that these congregations are maintaining their numbers and adding. We've had a few walk away from the Lord, and that's always sad, but you still do what you can to keep them. And I think that's the reason behind them being Alpena and Rogers City, that they are growing. They are in a growth mode. It's slow, and that's okay, because we're keeping most of them. That's powerful. John?
Chuck, if we had a concerted effort from Waterford to a particular congregation in the way of first giving them some cash for advertising's sake, for a BBS, let's say, that we could come up and participate on a Saturday, Sunday, something like that, and bring our BBS materials and everything else, but we'd have to have the cooperation of the congregation and the willingness to go out and invite people and advertise the fact. Would that be a help? I'm trying to get us more involved with the congregation.
I'm trying to get y'all more involved with the work up there. Trust me, I have laid out countless times. You want to come up and spend a weekend? Come on. You want to go to Mackinac Island? Well, save your hotel money. Stay with us. Then, now we're about an hour and a half away from it now instead of in Sheboygan. But it doesn't matter. Yes, you want to preach. Jeremy, you need to get up there and teach or preach.
I haven't offered downriver, but maybe I'll come up sometime.
Maybe. You know how many maybes we get? I want a date. I mean, I don't want to, never mind. Yeah, I know. Glad Michelle's not here.
August 10th.
August 10th? Serious?
If you want, I can clear that day.
Write it down.
Okay.
You're in. You're on. That's up. And you can spend, whenever you come up with us. We got a guest room. Got your own bathroom right outside the door. Actually, it's a Shell station. Just ask for the key. They'll give you the key. But no, August 10th is awesome. Thank you, man. Okay, I need to strong arm a few more. Jeremy. Good to talk to you. No, and we're serious about it. We're very serious. We love to have the visitors. Don't listen to Dwayne Stroshine. He came up for his cabin. He's knocking on our door. Both of us are taking a nap. Michelle, Dwayne's at the door. Oh, so fine. But I got to the door. I saw him pulling out. And I went, yes. Now, Dwayne has popped in a couple of times, and I just love him. We enjoy him so much. Any other questions about the actual work? Did I answer? VBS, I would say, would be a good thing. A very good thing. I wouldn't push it for this year, but I'm thinking once or even twice next year, especially if we start a congregation. That'd be another blast of an advertising that could be done. So the answer is yes. Waterford's additional involvement, oh man. But before we talk about more, from the heart, thank y'all for what you do. Waterford has a wonderful name in northern Michigan. Wonderful name. They respect it. And that's wonderful to know. And I know there's some of you who put in money into the basket for NMC. I have no idea who you are. And I say that to say thank you. Doesn't matter that I do or don't know, because God knows your gift. But I just want you to know that, oh no. We appreciate it so much, so much. The help. All we do is we get a note from Sherry or Kelly that says WCOC member and then a dollar amount. That's all we know. But I know you're contributing. Thank you. We really would love to have you all up there. Bart, you only get one. Go ahead.
No, I want to know, I'm not familiar with what you just were talking about. The additional donation, the envelope or whatever. What is that?
I need to hear the full question. I'm sorry.
Not familiar with what you're saying with the additional contribution. Is there like an envelope or how do you?
You can, if you're going to put a check in and help NMC, make the check out to the Waterford Church of Christ and then put NMC on the memo line.
What's the NMC stand for?
Northern Michigan for Christ. That's it. I didn't go down that hallway yet, but it should be still advertised on the wall. Am I correct? Yeah. So you can go down there and get a little upgrade. I only write the good stuff.
When's it start? When's the good stuff start?
Any other questions? Oh, thanks for helping me move, by the way. Baxter.
Yeah, did you hear that, Bill?
Did you hear my response? Was that the first or second? So I got 3 minutes. We got a bus to catch? Terry.
I'm so thrilled to hear how well you're doing on the eastern part of the state. Because I talked to Chuck Devereaux, and he's up in,
He's everywhere.
Yeah, all of what he has to do to find a house of worship, the Lord's house of worship up in that area. How they're just closing doors.
If he's in Traverse City, he's got one of the best congregations up there. Traverse City's awesome.
He has to travel somewhere to get there, summer and winter. So right in that area, it seems to be sticky. There's just not enough.
My thought is, where'd you buy a house? So if you buy a house and the closest congregation is there or there, well, that was your choice to plant there. But, yes, sir.
In the Christian Chronicle, there is an advertisement for the upcoming United States Churches of Christ Directory. And they're asking all the congregations to submit their information so they can be included in this. And they've only got like 30 or 40% of the congregations in it already. And that would be an ideal situation, especially for the northern congregations to be aware of, so that they can have their name and address and so forth in the directory.
True. One more quickie, get a short one. Even if it's just a yes or no answer.
Would that
No.
whether this congregation had instruments in the contest?
That I don't know.
You know, one of the older ones I saw did, but I'm not familiar with this.
I remember being up north one time, and we went to 3 different congregations before we found one that didn't have music up on stage.
It's interesting, we were coming back, and we had our granddaughter Zoe with us, so we stopped. I think it was in Indiana. Went to one church, doors were locked. So down the street, there was another one, so we went in, parked, went in, and hi, everybody, this and that. I heard that. And I go to sit down in the back, and Michelle goes, taps me on the leg. She goes, man, there was an orchestra that would make Radio Music City proud. And I went, let's go on. So we laughed. It happens. That's life. But most of them that we deal with, all in the upper part of northern Michigan, non-instrumental, no musical instruments. Thank you all. Thank you for your support. We get cards. We get phone calls. We get this. So I was going to call you. I didn't want to bother you. Well, if I'm busy, I'm not going to answer. Leave a message. We'll call you back. You know, it's that simple. Thank you. Thank you.